1. Rick Harrison's stunning fall. From grace in a stunning and unprecedented development. Rick Harrison, the beloved face of the hit reality TV series Pawn Stars, was sentenced to life in prison after being found guilty of multiple serious federal charges, including money laundering, artifact smuggling, and tax evasion. The public was left in disbelief when video footage of Harrison's emotional courtroom breakdown went viral within minutes, showcasing him declaring vehemently that he was set up. This dramatic fall from grace sent shockwaves through both the entertainment industry and mainstream America, challenging the public's long-standing image of Rick as a trustworthy, sharp, and witty entrepreneur. As millions watched the footage spread like wildfire across social media platforms, many struggled to reconcile the man they had come to know on television with the grim realities emerging from the courtroom. Questions flooded media outlets and legal analysts, asking whether Rick Harrison was truly guilty of the crimes charged against him, or if a larger, more insidious force had orchestrated his downfall. In the days that followed, old controversies were reignited, public trust was fractured, and Rick's reputation, painstakingly built over decades, seemed to crumble overnight, leaving behind a landscape of doubt, suspicion, and widespread debate over the real story behind one of television's most shocking scandals. 2. Rick's origin story and rise to fame. Long before he became a household name, Rick Harrison's journey was marked by adversity, resilience, and an unrelenting drive to overcome life's obstacles. Born in 1965 in Lexington, North Carolina, Rick battled epilepsy as a child, a condition that left him socially isolated and burdened with deep psychological scars. However, instead of allowing the illness to define him, Rick transformed his struggles into a source of motivation. Relocating with his family to Las Vegas, he co-founded the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop in 1989 alongside his father, Richard "Old Man" Harrison. What began as a modest family business soon evolved into a cultural landmark, largely due to Rick's keen historical knowledge and sharp negotiation skills. When Pawn Stars premiered in 2009 on the History Channel, it catapulted Rick into stardom, offering viewers a rare glimpse into the world of antiques, history, and family business. Unlike typical reality stars, Rick's authenticity, sarcastic humor, and deep understanding of historical artifacts made him an audience favorite, distinguishing him from the manufactured personas dominating television. His approachable demeanor and genuine bond with his father resonated deeply with viewers, who came to see Rick as the epitome of practical intelligence, ethics, and heart, a public trust that would later amplify the magnitude of his downfall. 3. From routine audit to criminal investigation. The unraveling of Rick Harrison's empire did not begin with a scandalous revelation, but with something far more mundane, a standard IRS tax audit in 2018. What should have been a routine financial check quickly escalated into a full-scale federal criminal investigation when inspectors uncovered alarming irregularities, including suspicious cash flows and traces of a complex, opaque financial network. As more agencies became involved, including the FBI and the Department of Justice, the investigation expanded to allege that Harrison Enterprises, Inc., the parent company behind the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, had facilitated illicit artifact trading and sophisticated money laundering operations. Prosecutors claimed Rick was either complicit in or turned a blind eye to a system designed to clean illicit profits through the resale of ancient artifacts, many of which were later traced back to stolen museum pieces and unauthorized excavations. These serious allegations painted a picture of a sprawling global network involving shell companies in Panama, Malta, and Switzerland, casting Rick not just as a local businessman, but as a potential player in an international criminal enterprise. The seemingly innocent audit had unearthed a Pandora's box, setting Rick on an irreversible collision course with the law and tarnishing the carefully cultivated image he had projected for decades. 4. The FBI raid and mounting evidence in early 2019 Federal authorities descended upon the gold and silver pawnshop in a dramatic raid that was captured on national television, forever shattering the wholesome image of the once celebrated establishment. Agents were seen hauling out boxes of documents, confiscating computers, and seizing valuable artifacts believed to have ties to illicit trades. Public reaction was swift and divided. Fans who had admired Rick for his knowledge and integrity were now faced with unsettling images of federal agents dismantling the shop that had become a Las Vegas cultural icon. The indictment, when unsealed, was damning. It detailed allegations of tax evasion, laundering through offshore entities, and trafficking in stolen cultural property, each carrying potential decades-long sentences. While supporters argued that Rick was a victim of his fame and success, detractors insisted that he had knowingly navigated the gray areas of legality for personal gain. Legal experts, media outlets, and the general public found themselves embroiled in heated debates, grappling with the possibility that a figure who had symbolized ethical business practices on national television might have, behind the scenes, orchestrated one of the most elaborate financial schemes in recent history. 5. Rick's emotional courtroom defense. The climax of Rick Harrison's legal battle came during his sentencing hearing, where he delivered a raw, impassioned speech that captivated the courtroom and millions watching online. Rising from his seat, Rick clutched a crumpled piece of paper and, with a voice wavering from emotion but steadfast in conviction, declared that he was not asking for mercy but demanding that the truth be heard. He alleged that his prosecution was not the result of criminal activity, but of his refusal to capitulate to powerful commercial forces that sought to exploit his brand. Rick's heartfelt proclamation, citing his dedication to education, history, and ethical practices, resonated deeply with many, painting him as a man crushed not by his own greed, but by an unforgiving industry and a justice system willing to sacrifice integrity for spectacle. His statements, delivered with visible anguish and defiance, were seen by some as a desperate last stand, and by others as a courageous declaration of innocence. Regardless of interpretation, Rick's courtroom testimony ignited a national debate and shifted the focus from dry legal evidence to emotional resonance, further polarizing an already divided public. 6. Viral impact and communication analysis. Rick Harrison's emotional courtroom address quickly transcended the walls of the courthouse, achieving viral status and amassing over 50 million views within just 48 hours. Communication experts dissected his performance, noting the strategic use of body language, emotional triggers, and linguistic framing designed to maximize public empathy. Analysts pointed out that Rick's repeated invocation of terms like conspiracy and setup played directly into the audience's growing distrust of institutions, while his unwavering eye contact, trembling voice, and tightly clenched hands projected an image of a man under extreme but controlled emotional duress. Critics, however, argued that the speech was meticulously crafted to redirect attention away from damning evidence, suggesting that Rick, a seasoned media figure, knew exactly how to manipulate public sentiment. Regardless of which interpretation one subscribes to, there was no denying that Rick's address had achieved its intended effect. It moved the conversation from the realm of objective legal scrutiny into the emotionally charged arena of public opinion, where feelings often outweigh facts. 7. Birth of conspiracy theories. Almost immediately after Rick's emotional courtroom statement spread online, a flood of conspiracy theories surfaced, offering alternative explanations for his downfall. One widely circulated theory alleged that Rick had refused to sell the Pawn Stars rights to a major media conglomerate seeking to commercialize and franchise the brand internationally, making him a target for elimination by powerful corporate interests. Another darker theory suggested that Rick's deep knowledge of the antiquities trade, and his refusal to launder stolen artifacts for global brokers had marked him as a dangerous liability that needed to be silenced through legal means rather than violence. Some even speculated that Rick had stumbled upon evidence of covert money laundering operations linked to major Las Vegas institutions, making his prosecution a strategic necessity. Though unproven, these theories gained traction because they tapped into broader societal fears about corruption, power abuse, and media manipulation, transforming Rick from a convicted felon in the eyes of the court into a potential martyr in the court of public opinion. 8. Fallout within Rick's family and business. The fallout from Rick Harrison's conviction extended far beyond the courthouse, striking at the heart of his family and business empire. His son Corey Harrison, often seen as the heir apparent to the Pawn Stars legacy, disappeared from the public eye in the days following the sentencing, sparking speculation about internal family turmoil. Sources close to the Harrisons insisted that Corey's silence was not an act of betrayal, but a manifestation of profound emotional pain and conflict, as he struggled to reconcile familial loyalty with the overwhelming weight of evidence against his father. Rick's wife issued a rare public statement acknowledging her belief in Rick's inherent goodness, while admitting that even good men can lose their way, a sentiment that underscored the deep fractures now running through the Harrison family. The future of the gold and silver pawn shop remains precarious, with industry experts warning that without swift rebranding, the shop could fade into obscurity within a few years. Whether Corey or another figure will rise to lead the reimagined business remains uncertain, but what is clear is that the Harrison family stands at a critical crossroads, where every decision will shape not only their future but the legacy they leave behind. 9. The trial by public opinion. Rick Harrison's courtroom tears ignited a fierce cultural battle that played out not just in legal forums, but across social media platforms, editorial pages, and television networks. Hashtags like #JusticeForRick and #Rick was framed dominated online discourse, as millions took sides, some declaring Rick a victim of corrupt forces, others accusing him of masterful emotional manipulation. Mainstream media outlets dissected his performance with surgical precision, noting the layers of rhetorical strategy that portrayed him simultaneously as a hard-working father, a betrayed citizen, and a symbol of the American dream corrupted by unseen forces. Yet, as emotional narratives swelled, hard evidence risked being drowned out, leading many legal scholars to warn about the dangers of allowing sentiment to overshadow judicial facts. In a digital age where viral videos shape public opinion faster than courtroom rulings, Rick's case epitomized the growing chasm between legal truth and emotional truth, forcing society to confront uncomfortable questions about the fragility of justice in the age of spectacle. 10. The collapse of reality TV's reality. Rick Harrison's downfall delivered a seismic blow not just to Pawn Stars, but to the entire reality television industry, exposing the uncomfortable truth that even shows marketed as authentic or meticulously crafted narratives, subject to the same ethical compromises as traditional entertainment. Rick had been seen as a model of genuine reality TV, a man who brought real knowledge, decency, and human connection to millions of viewers worldwide. But his conviction shattered that illusion, revealing the vulnerability of public trust and the precariousness of building entertainment brands around seemingly real personalities. Industry insiders now face a reckoning: how much of reality television is genuinely real, and how much is engineered for mass appeal. Rick's conviction forced producers, networks, and audiences alike to grapple with the consequences of blurring the line between authenticity and performance. In the wake of his downfall, reality television must now confront its own uncomfortable reflection, asking whether it has built a machine too powerful and too indifferent to protect even its most beloved stars from the inevitable collapse when perception and reality collide.